day children, Sai Ram. Welcome back to the second lecture of Geography of chapter number 2, Endogenetic Movement. In the previous part we have learnt about the fold mountains, the block mountains, that is the slow movements. Now in this part we are going to learn about the sudden movements. In the sudden movements, we had learned that earthquake and volcanoes are two types of sudden movements. Earthquake means the ground and quake means trembling. We had also seen that the magnitude and the effects of the earthquake in the starting of the lesson. Now let's learn about the sudden movements called earthquakes and volcanoes in detail. Let's continue our lesson. Earthquakes. What is an earthquake? Movements occurring in the interior of the earth. Tremendous tension is created when the tension goes beyond limit. Energy is released in the form of waves. That means there is a movement inside the earth's crust every time. And because of the movement, what happens? Tremendous tension is created. But this tension, when it goes beyond limit, then that time the energy is released in the form of waves, resulting in the trembling of the earth's surface. The magnitude of the earthquake is measured by Richter scale. And what is the instrument used for measuring the earthquake? That is seismogram. Now let's see the effects, causes of earthquake. Why the earthquake is mainly caused? Earthquake is mainly caused because of the movement of the plates. Now what are these plates? What is the movement of the plates? Let's see what are these plates. There are 7 plates, 7 major plates called as Indo-Australia, Africa, Eurasia, North America, South America, Pacific and Antarctica. These are the 7 major plates. So these are the plates which I am talking about. Movement of the plates. The Earth's crust is made up of such plates. Oceans and continents are also spread over these plates. Depending on the compression and tension formed in the interior of the earth, these plates move in various directions. So understood what are plates? So see here. You can see in this world map the different plates formed over here. The world map is showing you the plates, the earthquake zones and the volcanoes. You will get this map in your textbook also. From this we come to know that there are different plates which move, which causes earthquake. Let's continue with our causes. Second is colliding of plates. What is the meaning of colliding of plates? Dashing of the plates on each other. That is called as colliding of the plates. So whatever plates I showed you just now, they collide with each other. Sometimes what happens, these plates, while colliding, they slide one below the other, as if they are going under each other. That is sliding one below the other. Forming of fractures in rock layers due to tension in the interior of the earth. We have just now learned about the compression, the tension, and how the fracture is formed in the rocks. All we have learned in the previous part. So all this also leads to an earthquake. Last is occurring of volcanic eruption. Just because of the volcanic eruption also an earthquake can take place. So these are the various causes of earthquake. What are the causes of earthquake? Moving of the plates, colliding of the plates, plates sliding one below the other, forming of fractures in rock layers due to tension in the interior of the earth. And lastly, occurring of volcanic eruptions. Everyone has understood what are the causes of earthquake? So let's move on. This is a seismogram, simple seismogram along with a graph. We'll talk about it later. This is what I have already explained to you. This is the plates. Now let's talk about the earthquake. The earthquake, from where it is originating, the focus and the epicenter. You all must have heard this word epicenter, focus in your 8th standard also, when you all learned about the interior of the earth. So here we are going to talk about that only. Firstly, we'll start with the focus. What is a focus? When high energy is released at the place where tension mounts up is the center of earthquake. Okay, inside the earth's surface, when high energy is released and when the tension gets accumulated one above the other, then what happens? It becomes the center of the earthquake. Now this center of the earthquake is called as the focus or hypocenter. So you all understood what is the meaning of focus or hypocenter? Inside the earth's crust, when high energy is released at the place where tension goes on mounts up is the center of the earthquake, and that is called as focus or hypocenter. The place on earth's surface where these energy waves reach first, when the energy waves are released, the place on the earth's surface where the energy waves reach out first is called as the epicenter. So focus is interior part of the earth, while if you see, the epicenter is on the surface of the earth. So what is an epicenter? The place on the earth's surface where the energy waves reach out first. It's called as the epicenter of the earthquake. In the starting of the lesson, we have learned where is the epicenter of the earthquake. It was at Lamjung, correct. So here we are talking about is epicenter. The epicenter is perpendicular to the focus, exactly perpendicular. Where the focus is, exactly perpendicular to that is the epicenter. The tension released at the focus travels in all directions. You will see in the diagram how the focus, when it releases out tension, that it travels in all the directions and comes to the surface in the form of waves. Okay, and when it comes out on the surface in the form of waves, they are called as seismic waves. What are they called as? Seismic waves. So everyone has understood the difference between a focus and epicenter. I hope you all have understood focus and epicenter. Next, here is the diagram which is showing where is the focus and where is the epicenter. You can see in the diagram over here. I'll show you. Wait. Okay, you can see this. This is your focus, and exactly perpendicular here on the surface of the earth we have the epicenter. Did you all see? This is called as a focus and the epicenter. From the focus, see how all the waves are coming out like this. These are the different waves which are coming out over here, passing everywhere. Okay, so you all have understood till here. Let's continue. Firstly, we'll talk about the seismic waves. There are 3 types of seismic waves. That first one is primary waves or P waves, secondary waves or S waves, surface waves or L waves. So firstly, we'll start with the first type of wave, that is the primary waves. The primary waves are also called as P waves. They have, in short, we call it as P waves. These P waves, first, they are the first one to reach to the earth's surface. As soon as it comes out from the focus, they are the first one to reach out to the earth's surface. And they travel very fast from the focus in radial direction. They are the first one to go out to the Earth's surface. The waves over here, in primary waves over here, move to and fro. Therefore, they are called forward-backward waves. They have given the name as forward-backward waves because they move to and fro. These waves can travel through all three states: liquid, solid, and gaseous. All the three states the primary waves can pass through. If you all remember, you all have learned this in your 8th standard also, that the primary waves passes through liquid state also. But do you all remember what happens in the liquid state? In the liquid state, the speed of the primary waves lessens, reduces. So here changes direction while passing through liquid. Because the speed is reducing, the direction of the primary waves also change. What is the result of the primary waves? The result of the primary waves is the buildings move back and forth. Okay, this is the result of primary waves. I hope everyone has understood what is primary waves. You can see in this diagram over here what are primary waves. Okay, you can see the primary waves over here given. These are primary waves. Now let's learn about the secondary waves. The secondary waves are also called as S waves. They are named as S waves. As primary waves are named as P waves, secondary waves are named as S waves. As the word says, secondary, they are the second one to come after the primary waves. So these waves reach the surface after the primary waves. Hence, they are called as secondary waves. These waves scatter in all directions from the focus. We will have seen in the diagram over here. These waves, that is the secondary waves, are also spread in all the directions. Okay. These waves scatter in all directions from the focus. Velocity of these waves is lesser than the primary waves. Okay, the velocity is much lesser than the primary waves. But when it is moving, the particles in the wave move up and down in the direction of the energy transferred. From where the energy is moving, there they move up and down, as if they are jumping. These waves can only travel through solid state. As you have learned in your 8th standard also, that secondary waves cannot pass through liquid state, as they get absorbed in the liquid state. So here this is one of the characteristics. These waves can only travel through solid state as they get absorbed in liquid state. Now what is the result of these secondary waves? The buildings on the Earth's surface move up and down, and hence are more destructive than P waves. In P waves, just they move to and fro, forward and backward. But what happens in S waves? Here what happens? They start jumping. Okay, moving up and down. So it is more destructive. They're more destructive than the P waves. So everyone has understood what is secondary waves and what are the characteristics of secondary waves. Correct. Let's move forward. What is surface waves? Surface wave is also called as L waves. They are called as L waves. As primary waves are called as P waves, secondary waves are called as S waves, surface waves are called as L waves. Let's see the characteristic of surface waves. Generated They are generated after the primary and the secondary waves reach the epicenter. That means they have already reached the surface of the earth. That time these L waves are generated. But when these L waves are generated, they travel in the direction of the circumference of the earth along the crust. They start traveling so very fast around the circumference of the earth. And these waves are very destructive. More destructive than the primary and the secondary waves. Now here we are going to talk about a seismogram. Do you all remember what is a seismogram? Yes, the seismogram is an instrument to measure the seismic waves. We have seen the diagram in the previous part. Yes, you can see the diagram over here. It is a simple seismogram. And along with the seismogram, you can see a graph. A graph is shown over here along with the seismogram. With the help of this seismogram, a graph is drawn. Okay, to know about the seismic waves. A graph showing movement of seismic waves can be generated using it. Just now I showed you that. After studying the graph, the magnitude of the earthquake is known. How much? Just now in the starting of the lesson, we have learned how much magnitude earthquake had taken place in Nepal. It was 7.9 Richter scale. How we come to know? With the help of this seismogram. Now let's see the effects of earthquake. What happens because of the earthquake? First, cracks or fractures develop on the ground. As we all know, when an earthquake takes place, cracks and fractures are developed on the ground. Fractures here means breaking up of the stones. Second thing, causes landslides which leads to sliding of rocks. Okay, every now and then you all get to hear about the landslides, but those are because of the rainfall. But during an earthquake also landslides take place, which leads to the sliding of many of the rocks, big rocks, heavy rocks, which come down, and it can cause a problem to the human life. Third thing, sometimes the groundwater changes its course. Because of the earthquake, what happens? The groundwater which is there, it changes its course. Course means from where it is flowing. For example, wells may get water or may dry up. Some wells will get lot of water because of this, but some of the wells may get dried up. Just because of the earthquake, what has happened? The groundwater has changed its course. Some areas get uplifted while some may subside. Because of an earthquake, some of the areas get higher position, that is uplifted, and some goes down. Tsunamis are generated in oceans. You all must be knowing the tsunami which had taken place. Okay, so here tsunamis are generated in the ocean just because of the earthquake which takes place. These waves can cause great loss of life and property in the coastal areas. We know about the tsunami, correct? We have heard about the tsunami. How much problem, how much disaster it caused to the people, those who are staying near the coastal areas. Next is, in snow-covered areas, if you know the snow-covered areas, and in that area, if an earthquake is taking place, avalanches may occur. What's the meaning of avalanches? Big ice come down, that is called as avalanches. Big blocks of ice come down. It is just like big stones, which can again cause a problem to animal life as well as human life. Next, buildings collapse and loss of life and property occurs. This is what we know already. As we have learned in the primary waves and the secondary waves. In the primary waves, buildings go to and fro, while in the secondary waves, it starts jumping. Okay, so it creates a loss of life and property. Then transportation routes get disrupted. Okay, for example, railways and all, they get disrupted. Then communication system collapses. Okay, so these are the various effects of an earthquake. Because of an earthquake, so much of a problem can be created for human life. Now, here we can learn what to do before an earthquake. If an earthquake is going to take place and we are warned about it, what can we do? Make sure you have a fire extinguisher, first aid kit, a battery powered radio, and extra batteries at home. Then, second, learn first aid. How to do first aid? Learn how to turn off the gas, water, and electricity. As small children, you all also should know what to do and what not to do. So, these are the various things you should know. Make up a plan of where to meet your family after an earthquake. You all know during the earthquake what happens? People move about here and there. They run helter skelter. So where to meet? You have to plan out first only. Don't leave heavy objects on shelves. They can fall on you and you can die because of that. Correct? So it is very much necessary that you don't keep any heavy objects on the shelves. Anchor heavy furniture, cupboards and appliances to the walls or floor. Okay, so that they don't start moving here and there. Learn the earthquake plan at your school or workplace. Okay, next. What to do during an earthquake? When an earthquake takes place, we get frightened and we start running here and there. So what should we do at that time? Stay calm. If you are indoors, stay inside. If you are outside, stay outside. If you are indoors, stand against a wall near the center of the building. Stand in or crawl under heavy furniture. Stay away from windows or doors. If you are outdoors, stay in the open, away from power lines or anything that might cause a problem for you. Don't use matches, candles or any flame. Broken gas lines and fire, don't mix it over there. If you are in a car, stop the car and stay inside the car until the earthquake stops. Don't use elevators. Okay, so these are the things you should do during an earthquake. What to do after an earthquake? After the earthquake has come and gone, everything is quiet now. That time what we have to do? Check yourself and others for injuries. Provide first aid for those who need it. Check water, gas and electric lines for damage. Turn on the radio. Don't use the phone unless it's an emergency. Stay out of damaged buildings. Be careful around broken glass and debris. Wear boots or sturdy shoes to keep your feet safer. Be careful of chimneys. Okay, the chimneys might fall on you. Stay away from beaches. Tsunamis and sieges sometimes hit after the ground is shaking. Stay away from damaged area. If you are at school or work, follow the emergency plan or the instruction given to you. Then expect aftershock. After the earthquake is over, then also expect that the aftershock is also going to come back. So don't get frightened because of that. So this much only in this part, children. I have provided with you an activity at the end of along with this lesson. Do that. Thank you. We'll meet in the next lecture.